Hello, I just want to talk about a condition called multiple system atrophy. It's something that doesn't get a lot of attention, something that is trying to take the life of my mother. Because it's not very well known, there's not much research going into it. We all try to put our heads together, and it's very quickly fatal. And something needs to be done. The closest thing to this disorder is Parkinson's disease. In some ways, Lou Gehrig's disease has some similar components in terms of the effects on a life. It doesn't take away your sensations. You can feel your body, but it slowly makes you unable to move any of your body. It takes away your ability to swallow and your ability to breathe. It takes away the regulation of your blood pressure. You end up getting very thin because of between swallowing and the atrophying of your muscles and like the internal tremor sort of going on. You don't really handle iron right. And there's a lot of other components to it. But your mind stays there. And because of the lack of movement, most people end up with really bad bed sores. And they have to be turned. But yet turning is excruciating. And so they end up getting worse bed sores. They tend to have naturally low temperatures, and often before the disorder really sets in, they have kind of a hoarse voice. And it seems like the people who get it have been around pesticides, as in either we're near farmland, we're near where pesticides are being sprayed, or that sort of thing. It's said that this protein called alpha-synuclein in the brain, which causes cellular damage, is a huge component of it. It screws up basically sort of through your spine, your brainstem, your cerebellum, and kind of the communication with farther forward in the brain. Somewhere in that whole system, it causes changes in the pons of the brain and sort of the circuit of communication somewhere in the olive part of the brain, which keeps that protein from doing damage, somehow gets damaged. In a sense, it's a lot like the damage that happens in Parkinson's, only maybe just slightly different spot. There are some commonalities. Parkinsonism is part of multiple system atrophy. A lot of people who think they have Parkinson's actually have multiple system atrophy. Probably one of the early symptoms of it is feeling like the levodopa doesn't really affect you like it should. That's one of the early clues. That was the first thing my mom noticed, and she felt she had what was called Scheidegger in the write-up in an old pamphlet to do with Parkinson's. She said, I think I have this. And it turned out some years later that that is what she has. There becomes a time where you have to decide between feeding tubes. There's a whole orchestration of different habits that you have to change. Otherwise, your life would be taken. And that's one reason why I think she's still alive. She has not gone to the feeding tube. It's definitely been posted as what we need to decide about. But we make sure that she does not ever use a straw. She can have a third of a spoonful of food, and it has to be pureed. It can't be too thin, can't be too thick and sticky, or have chunks in it. Also, things with any strong citrus like pineapple or lime that can irritate and cause the coughing. You have to have a suction tube nearby because it's easy for them to aspirate And anytime there's suctioning, can also cause a buildup of mucus. Another thing that can tend to happen, often not even suspected, is pulmonary embolisms from the lack of movement and from the inability to really get enough liquids. And a lot of times catheters can help cause, which is part of the whole system that is affected, can help cause a clot. So my mom went in for other unrelated breathing problems, and during a scan discovered a couple of pulmonary embolisms. So she's now on blood thinners, not because of high fibrin or clotting factors. There's just a series of things that you have to worry about. They often have trouble getting enough vitamin D, which is important for putting glutathione in the cells of the brain, which is hard to absorb if you take it just through a pill. And so one thing is they tend to be low in D. And a lot of people take B12 shots, like a methylcobalamin B12. And there's a lot of aspects to the disease. And I know I'm just rambling, but I'm just thinking as I'm speaking, and wanted to bring some attention to this disease.